Hello friends, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome all. This is a shifting video. You might hear noises in the background. I shifted back to Toshinori's house and I had the idea when I got there I was gonna, basically kind of like curse him out a little bit and, give him a piece of my mind because my plan originally was to come there and kind of like force him into getting the answer. Like, I wanted to get the answers that I wanted from him about why he didn't tell me about Hawks. You knew this all along about him, but yet you did nothing. You sat back and just watched it. You dangled me in front of him like a piece of meat the entire time. And then now I have a child with this guy. And I wanted to, get answers from Yoshinari. I wanted to see like what his motive was behind that. I know you guys are best friends, but I need answers from you and you need to explain it to me because Toshinori, me and him are supposed to be in a relationship and a very serious relationship, or unless he just doesn't take it very seriously. I mean, I just need to know like what he was thinking, and I need to know why he didn't tell me this because it's very important that I know this because this is something I should have known before Frodo got here. So I talked to my Discord group about what I should do. A lot of them had great advice for me. I should have just listened to I know the ones I should have listened to. I'm gonna give shout outs to all of you guys. Nico, Zahe, we got Mel, we got Blue Marker, we have let's see, yeah, we have let's see, Blue Marker, we have I already said everybody, didn't I? Celestial, there's someone named Celestial too. I can't remember everyone's names. I'm trying so hard to remember everybody. I feel bad if I don't remember anyone. I named everyone Mel, Nico, um, all of you guys who helped me and tried to like all of you guys who tried to like help me. I think there's someone named Bria too or something. Yes, Celestial, and then there's another person, and her name is like Bria or something on here. Shout outs to all you guys. These are some of my these are some of my people I talked to in Discord about my problems with Toshinori and they try and help me out. And so like we actually have like we're actually gonna try to go to court. Um I don't know how that's gonna work. He's so funny. His name's Nico. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you guys what happened when I shifted there. So I shifted to his house, and like I said, I want these answers. I'm sorry, guys. I just jumped into the video because I'm just so ready to tell you like how this like worked out for me. Anyway, I walk into Toshinori's house. I'm greeted by a hug, you know, and I reached up. I kind of tried to like kiss him, but he like moved back a little bit so I couldn't kiss him. And then he went and sat down and he's like, I've been waiting for you. Let's have breakfast together. And I'm the type of person who, like, I'm not going to sit there and just pretend like everything's okay. If I have a problem, I'm going to bring it up straightforward. Then we can get the problem out of the way. I'm not going to give you a fake smile and pretend like there's not an issue. So the tertiary, there clearly is an issue. And I want to address it right away. So I didn't even bother to sit down. I said, he went and he sat down in his chair and he starts sipping his coffee and he's just staring at me. And I go, Toshinori, and he's like, yes. And I go, why didn't you tell me about Hawks? And he starts, drinking out of his coffee again. And I go, well, and then he puts his coffee down and he's like, I knew he had those feelings. And I knew that, you have a child with him now. So you should try and you should try and build your relationship with him. And I go over and I sit down and I'm like, Toshinori, we are together. We're in a relationship together. He's like, so I don't expect you to choose him over me. But there are times when maybe you can spend time with him instead of spending time with me. That way you can be with both of us. And I go, Toshinori, listen, you know, it must have been hard to like tell your friend. Um, it must have been hard to tell him that you were with me, and but I found out about this the wrong way. You should have told me about this sooner. And so Toshinori's like, it wasn't really my place to say anything. What was I gonna say? Hawk says love you the whole time. After we've been together all this time, what was I supposed to say to him? How was I gonna say that to him? He was already hurting just watching us together. So I wanted to give him something special. And then Frodo came along. When Frodo came into the picture, it changed everything. And I go, yeah, no kidding. No doubt it changed everything because now we have a child together, me and him. And he's like, but he loves you. I'm like, I don't love him. Sorry, I don't love him in that way. And I go, how long did he have feelings like this for me? You know, how long have you known about this? And he goes, from the very beginning. And then I asked him, were you ever going to tell me? He said, no. And I go, so you're okay with me dating someone else and dating you at the same time? And Toshinori like sits back like this and he's like, yes. I said, you said you wouldn't share me with anyone. And he said, he's not anyone. He's my best friend. We have the closest bond in anyone, and this should just bring us even closer. So I go, oh, so, I was like, well, do you celebrate Pride? Because I'm trying to find out. Is he LGBTQ? Because that's fine with me. I mean, I'm all for it. I have no problem with that. I'll still love him just the same. I'll still try to be with him. I mean, I'm not going to break up with him just because he has. I'm a very open minded person. I just am. And I love Toshinori. I can't unlove him, obviously, if he happens to love Hawks, because if they love each other, then I'm not going to stand in the way either. I mean, I'll share him with Hawks if I have to. I mean, I actually think I would like to try to sneak a peek at them together. Like, I know that's probably sick. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be keeping track of this video, guys. So then he looks at me, he's like, no, I'm not. Hawks and I are not, we don't have a romantic relationship with each other. And I said, okay, well, so you have a romantic relationship with me then? And he's like, he folds his arm. I'm like, and then he gives me this look, like this sly, like whatever look. And I was like, I'm pretty mad at you for this. And he's like, why are you mad? And I'm like, because you should have told me. This is just too important. He's like, well, I let him confess how he felt finally. He's been waiting all this time, so I let him do it. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just tell me that from the beginning, though? I could know. Then I could be careful around him. Until she knows, he's like, you don't need to tiptoe around him. You're going to be fine. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with this, though. I'm telling you that I'm uncomfortable. And you are basically blowing it off. I was like, is there a reason why? He doesn't say anything. So then I go, okay, so were you planning on sharing me all along with him from the beginning since we've been together? He doesn't say anything. And I go, do you think we'll ever have that kind of relationship? Like me and you and him? And what about Frodo? He says nothing. So guys, my boiling point is starting to like rise. So I go over to the drawer. I'm like, I'm gonna get my answers one way or another. You need to answer all my questions. You answered all my other ones. How is it this hard to answer it? Like, just do it. Like, you couldn't have been planning this from the beginning. I mean, right? Because that's crazy. So I go and I grab the syringe out of his dresser, and he looks up. He goes, "Hmm," like he doesn't know what I'm doing or something. Like, this is your freaking cabinet. You know what's in here. I grab it and I run over to him. He's staring at me like this, like wide-eyed, and I stab him in the neck. So I stabbed him in the neck with the syringe. The green stuff goes all the way in his body, and he starts shaking and convulsing. So I back away from him because he's like shaking, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And I check his pulse, and he's not breathing. So then I performed CPR on him. Um, and then I stopped performing CPR on him and I kind of like sit down. I like sat in the corner, guys. I'm like rocking, like, oh my God, did I just kill my man? So then he starts moving. I'm like, oh, thank God. I rub over him, like, are you okay? He's like, what did you do? And his voice is different. I'm like, Toshinori. And he's like, he starts crawling on the floor. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I still need to get my answers, guys. Like, I don't care if I'm hurting him. I want my answers right now. He's going to answer everything I have to say to him because there's no reason for him to hide anything from me. We don't have the kind of relationship where we hide stuff from each other. We've never hid it. I don't want to ruin my makeup, guys. I worked so hard on my makeup this morning. So then, like, it's taking like a long time. Don't cry. Okay, no crying because you're gonna ruin it. No. So then he's like, crying Canada, please. And I'm like, I don't want to hear you beg and plead me for anything because I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, okay, I have to harden up. Sorry. I have to like harden up, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. This video is like ruined now because I started kind of so then I step on his back and I'm like, you're gonna tell me everything I need to know, and if I have to stab you with this again, I will. And maybe it'll kill you next time. And I won't actually kill him, I'm just angry. So I go over to the kitchen and I grab a knife and I'm like, I guess I'll just torture him with this since I don't have an electric chair. Because I talked about getting like an electric chair, but where would I find an electric chair in that universe? Like where would I get it? So then I take my knife and I start, carving like little like I start carving little hearts in his arm, like marking him because he's mine forever. Like I'm not gonna let anybody take you from me. And like I guess if you like hawks, I can share him with you, but you're still gonna be mine. That's why I'm marking you like this, and you're gonna like it. So I'm sitting there making these little carves in him, and he's like ah, and I'm like, stop screaming like this. You don't scream when I do this. This feels good to you. You like it. That's why you keep doing this because you like when I torture you. And he goes, Titan Canada. And I'm like, no, no, you're not allowed to talk to me. Like, you're not allowed to say my name until you tell me everything. What was your plan from the beginning? And he's like, I'm like, what was your plan? And I go, fine. I go and I get a chair and like, he starts being able to move a little bit. So I help him like maneuver into the chair. So he's sitting there and I put his arms in like the rest part. I put his arms like on the rest. He can sit there like that. And then I'm like, what can I tie him up with to get him? What can I tie him up with to get him to like restrain? Well, obviously, it's not going to restrain him for long. There has to be something I can like zap him with. Like I want to do something. I need to get my answers like now. And he's starting to snap too. Like he's starting to wake up from it. So like the serum, he was like talking like this, like I don't know. So I went and I to the basement and I tried to like open it, but now there's like the basement has like a brand new lock on it and everything, and I'm like, what the heck? So I can't even see what the basement looks like. Like you guys remember when he punched that hole in the wall? I have no idea what happened. So then I go in his room and I start, rummaging through his chest trying to find like whatever I can. And I find the little jumping I find the Mexican jumping bean thing. The little vibrating tiny bullet thing that he likes to play with me with when he like punishes me. So I went and I grabbed that and I put it in his pants and I started vibrating it. And he's moving like, and I'm like, keep moving and I'll put it like, keep moving and I'll put it like in your butt or something like that. He's like still, I put it like right under his ball sack so it's vibrating. And then I'm like, I'm gonna give you the best type of pleasure. And I'm like, are you gonna answer me or what? Like, I tried to like, I tried to I tried to make it like lighter now so that I'm not torturing being as, Like, why are you hiding this from me? Just tell me, like, what's this your plan from the beginning? What's this your plan from the beginning? What else did you have? What else do you have planned? Like, just tell me everything I need to know, and then I'll let you off the hook. Whatever. If you want to try to punish me later for this, I'm not gonna let you. I will have my guy come in, and he will like. I kind of don't want my guy to. I don't want my guy to act on him because I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't want him to like make his memory go away forever or something. Like my guide is very powerful. He can do that. He's sitting right there. I don't want him on camera. I'm holding Lysiris instead. Oh, Lysiris, say hi. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, I had a little meltdown earlier. I'm so sorry, guys. He makes me feel better sometimes. Anyway, so it's vibrating, and then so like I unbuckle his pants and I start playing with him, and I'm rubbing my hands up and down his shaft, and then I'm like, "Do you have any like lotion or baby oil here?" And he's like, I can't move. And I'm like, I don't care if you can't freaking move. That's the idea. You freaking, I'm like, you know what? I get up. I like drop so like I was still holding the knife in my hand. I like drop it down at his feet and I get up and I go over to the bathroom and I'm rummaging through the bathroom looking for something. Like, I don't really know what I'm looking for. I just know that I want to get something. Like maybe some type of lotion or some kind of like, maybe he has lube. I've never seen him use lube though. He he's never needed it from me. Um, yeah, that's scary, right? All the stuff he does. He doesn't need lube. I go back in there and he's like, and he starts shaking and convulsing again. So I go back over and I'm like, Toshinori, and I'm like, so I run in the kitchen, I grab. So there's everyone has a kitchen towel. His is hanging on the stove. I grab it off there and I put it in his mouth because it seems like he's having like a seizure due to the medicine. Like, how is the medicine making you act this way? So I shove it into his mouth and I'm backing away from him and I'm just staring. I'm like, this isn't good. And then he falls on the floor again. I'm like, so I put the syringe back into the drawer and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to come back. Why is your clothes coming off? I'm like, I guess I'll have to come back. Ask him again. And if I have to do it again, I'll find another way to do it. I just won't use that medicine again because obviously it's not good for him. Like, whatever. Anyway, so I turn around, and I just open the door like to let some air in. Maybe the air will help a little bit. He finally stops shaking. And like after I close the door, because I left like the screen part of the door to where you could see outside. You could literally see into like the street and everything. You could see his nice little his fence in the front and all that stuff. His little pathway. And I turn around and this is gonna horrify you guys, okay? Prepare to be horrified. It's Hawks sitting in the freaking chair. Let me repeat that. Hawks is sitting in the chair. Hawks is there. It's not Toshinori sitting there. It's Hawks. And I'm like, what the freaking hell? And I walk up to him and I'm like, Hawks? And I move my hand like this over his hair is kind of like his hair is messed up because when he was shaking and everywhere, his head was moving like side to side, so his hair shook all on his face. And so like I used this to like I used my hand to like move his hair out of the way, and he grabbed my wrist and he like he glares at me. I'm like, what? And then I hear a voice behind me saying like, what are you doing? And I just freeze. I'm like, so he's holding my wrist like this. He's sitting down, and I hear Toshinori's voice behind me. So I like turn around slowly, like I'm like, Toshinori. He goes, Cotton Candy Doll, what did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. So then Hawk stands up and he's like, Toshinori. And Toshinori is like, okay. So they're both taking me into the bedroom and they close the door. And we all three of us are sitting on the bed. And he's like, Toshinori is like, why did you do that to him? What did you do to him? And Hawks like he raises up his shirt and shows Toshinori the hurt marks on his chest. And Toshinori just looks at me. He's so angry. He's like, you cannot do this. You can't think that you can act this way. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, you're the one who like kept secrets from me. And so like now we're having like a yelling battle between both of us. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. And I just storm out the front door. And of course my dad is sitting there. He's like leaned up against the fence. He's like, so I go with him and we leave. And Toshinori was like, Hawks. Hawks was Toshinori. So like, how did his body become Toshinori's body? Like, I don't understand how that happened. Like, and I didn't get my answer. Like, he wasn't answering my questions, and I think that's why, because he didn't know the answers. Um, has anything more insane ever happened to me besides the stuff that's already happening? I don't think so. Like, I don't have anything to say about this at all. I know I said I wasn't gonna go back there for like a week, but like I couldn't wait that long. I know it's been like a couple days, but I really wanted to see Toshinori. But also I needed answers because it was just like wrecking my brain, guys. Like it was really hard just to keep like I couldn't keep a smile on my face after what happened still. My first argument and it was in front of Hawks. And also if they're both there, who's with my baby? Who's with Frodo? Don't leave him at some like rundown daycare. Like I don't want to hear bad reports of stuff happening to him because they weren't watching him or whatever. I originally came there to talk to Toshinori and then go and see Frodo, but that didn't happen. So I hope my video wasn't too long, guys. You can tell I'm probably not happy, but I mean I don't know how to be happy in this situation. Like also in my Discord group, we have to come up with a new plan. Plan B. I guess the thing is like Ox doesn't seem yandere to me. He seems to really hate me. So I had no idea he had these feelings. You know, he seemed to really not like me. So, and now I carved those hearts on him. Now he has my hearts carved on him. Even though I thought he was Toshinori, what's he gonna think now? He has he has my stamp carved into him now. Freaking hearts, and he has more than one. Toshinori only has two. That means I have to give Toshinori more. I should probably carve. No, I'm not gonna do that again, guys. That was a close call. Like I could have killed him. No wonder he was like seizing. I mean, right. I mean, you should have been posting this to Toshinori. What the hell were you doing? I should have known something was up when I didn't get my kiss from him. But whatever conversation we were gonna have, it should have been at the table. I feel like it shouldn't have been in that room, in the bedroom. It's, it's been quite, it's been quite a night. Like, I didn't think that's what I was gonna have happen to me, but it turned out to be that way anyway. Fighting. Yeah, that's something they say. Fighting. Um, they just say that not in this country, another country. I think they say that in they either say that in Japan or Korea. I know in Korea they go tee, they go tee, they do that, and then um anyway it's completely changing the subject or whatever. I'm kind of cold. Uh, I'll see you guys. I guess I'll see you in my next video. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're shocked, write in the comments below. What the heck? Um, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified when my other video becomes available to you. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.